Hi, I'm Liv. It's time for me to tell you about this month's fabric collection. These are the fabrics we save up for a special collection each month that are our most fabulous, really. They're our favorites. They're a little bit nicer as far as fiber content, or they're just super interesting. These fabrics will go live tomorrow, Friday at 10 a.m. Central Time on our website at thriftynotion.com. All right, let's jump in here. Let's start with the synthetics. So first up, we have a couple of sparkly metallics. You can see this would be great for either your going out wear or costuming. This one is called Aset. We named things after fertility goddesses and like springtime voluptuousness, because it's just time to make more of whatever you are. That's the time of year. So this one, very metallic, great for costuming. This one does not, well, it stretches. Now, with these metallics, when you stretch them, the printed on metallic does split. So remember that. You don't really want to have this be super form-fitting where it's going to get stretched out a lot. It's more for the drape, really. So that is a set. This is Ceres. Ceres? I don't know. It's a holographic metallic, so it might be reading silver in the camera, but this is very rainbow holographic. Very, very fun. Also stretchy, but again, this one is printed on in little dots, so this one can stretch a bit more without the metallic part coming undone. It still does split, but it's not as bad. So you got a little bit of stretch on that one. All right, next up are some like faux silk jacquards and brocades. So this one's called New Shoots, and you can see it is reversible. You've got kind of a darker gray on the back with some silvery leaves, or silver with dark leaves. Nice drape on that one. This one is called Opulent, and it has this printed on pretty pattern of kind of subtle pastels, and then there is a paisley pattern woven into the fabric, so that's part of the texture of the fabric. Lovely drape on this one as well. This deep plummy fabric is called Voluptuous, and it has a sort of subtle rose pattern woven into the fabric. Again, fancy formal things would be great out of this one. Next up is kind of an odd wild card. We don't usually get this kind of blend. This is a silk polyester blend. It's a little bit unusual, but that polyester kind of gives it a little more durability and reduces the stickiness of the silk. Sometimes silk has that kind of spider webby stickiness to it. So this blend is actually pretty soft. It feels nice. It is cut in a couple pieces. I don't know if you can see that here, but there's more than one piece of this. It has kind of still has that slubby silk texture to it, and that polyester gives it a little bit more fluidity to the drape. So it feels really, really nice. This would be great for things like dresses, slacks. You could also do skirts and things like that. Just a nice subtle gray. And this one's called Divine Embrace. Okay, next up is our little stack of rayons. First one is this rayon lace, and this is a beaded lace. So it has sequins and beads on it, which requires sewing on by hand and takes a lot more labor. So these kinds of fabrics tend to run pretty pricey. We try to be cheaper than anywhere else. So it is priced accordingly, but this is meant for overlays, lingerie. It does have a scalloped edge, and there is more ornamentation, I guess. It's fancier right along the edge. There are also ribbon roses on here. So it's got a lot going on. Really, really pretty. Great for just layering over something else. Unless you don't want to, just layer it over yourself. Here's another nice rayon. We love rayon for the drape. It is just very fluid. So swishy pants, like swim cover-ups, those kind of things, or just a dress. This one is fairly sheer, so you'll want some undergarments maybe if you don't want people seeing through your clothes. I would say if, because sometimes you want people seeing through your clothes, and okay. All right, this next one is a knit. It's called Phoebe. And I do not remember the fiber content, so it will be in a slide. But you can see, very, very stretchy this way. Not stretchy this way. It may have some rayon in it. It's definitely like a synthetic kind of blend. Very soft and very cozy and comfortable. This one's just called Mauve Floral because it's got mauve flowers on it. This is your springy, summery rayon sundress situation. It's a crinkle rayon. It's very fluid and lots of beautiful drape, very swishy. Good for sundresses and swishy skirts. Now we're going to do silks. This one's called Diana, and it's kind of got this houndstooth check on it. Very fluid, beautiful fabric. Lovely for blouses. Really, it's just wonderful for blouses. You could also do scarves. Lots of lingerie potential here as well. It just feels really nice. This one is fun. This one's called petrichor, which is the name for the smell after it rains. So it is a burnout silk chiffon. It's got velvet, little velvet texture on it, and then the background base fabric is silk. So really pretty. This would be nice for like a cardigan kind of jackety situation. Or you could do a skirt or something like that, or even a dress out of this. You would just need to line it. Beautiful sheer fabric. Another silk, this one's called Ishtar, just a black silk. All kinds of potential here for all kinds of beautiful, deliciously, just the texture, the feel of silk. It's great. Feels great on your body. Our last silk is called Growth Mindset. It has a stripe woven in and then this kind of abstract pattern printed on. Another one with just that amazing fluid drape. All right, then we have this big old stack of linen over here. The first two are de-stash, so they came from someone's stash. We have this that is it came from the home of a weaver. I don't think that this was hand woven by her, but it might have been. It's very possible, but it is in a strange width. So it's either vintage or it's hand woven. It's 34 inches wide from selvage to selvage. It's got a pretty chunky hand to it. So something like shorts or shortalls would be super cute out of this. Little kiddo clothes, also cute. It's pretty chunky, but it's also got a pretty fluid drape because it's fairly loosely woven. So really nice fabric here. And she's called Lavender Allure. Another chunky linen called Banded. Kind of the same texture as that first one. Pretty substantial, great pants out of this. You could make some very cute trousers or overalls. I'm just always down for overalls. Okay, then we have this whole stack of coordinating linens. These are warehouse clearance, so they are new on the bolt. And they are a little bit lighter weight. They're a little more sheer, a little more floaty and fluid. And they all have simple names. This one is Wisteria Stripe. So pretty basic names. But dresses, blouses, tops, bottoms, whatever, all the things, make it out of linen. Linen is just by its very nature much more sustainable than cotton. So it's just a good bet. There's a whole stack of them. Beautiful, lovely. They all have that same drape. They're just the same thing in different patterns. So we'll finish up with our cottons. There is not very much of this, but it was just cool enough that I thought we should probably include it in our collection. This one's called Divination, and it's got these cool kind of sketchy geometrics on it. This one would be fantastic for all kinds of things. It's not quite a canvas. It's more loosely woven than canvas, but it's just a plain weave, sort of medium weight cotton. You could do like tote bags. You could also do trousers. You could also a skirt. A skirt would be really cute out of this too. Lots of potential here. It is cotton, so it can do all kinds of things. This is another somewhat loosely woven cotton, almost canvas. It is studded with rhinestones. This one's called Glittering Goddess. All the fun things out of that. I wouldn't make pants out of this just because you will be sitting on rhinestones and that might be uncomfortable. Probably home deck, maybe a dress, maybe like a jacket. Jacket would be cute. Here is a textured cotton called Fullness. It's just this nice grid weave. It is a little bit see-through. It reminds me of cross-stitch fabric. It's that same kind of weave, but it's obviously not quite as stiff as cross-stitch fabric. So a skirt would be very cute out of this one. I called this one dragon fruit because it looks like those little seeds. This is just a plain weave cotton, lighter weight. You could use it for quilting, but it's also great. It's a lawn, a cotton lawn. So dresses, blouses, all of the things. Just a very versatile cotton. This one's called Minerva. It has this insertion lace in stripes through it, so it is kind of see-through. This is good for those kind of broom skirt or sundress sort of situations. Really just a breezy, pretty kind of bohemian sort of fabric. You could also dye this if you didn't want it white, or wear it white till it starts getting discolored and then dye it. There's all kinds of ways to upcycle and refresh garments. This is a lightweight cotton called Bountiful. It's just a gray stripe. Great for sundresses and blouses and breezy things for warmer weather. Okay, this is just a nice medium weight cotton. It is probably a chintz. It's not super shiny like most chintzes, so I'm not sure why that is, but it's essentially just a little bit thicker than a quilting cotton. You can use it for all kinds of things, really. And if you pre-wash it, the little bit of shininess that's on it will go away. So it's just a really pretty pastel spring floral. You could make all kinds of pretty skirts or little Easter-y type dresses out of. And that is our final fabric for this month. Happy sewing!